Everyone said OpenAI was cooked. Everyone claimed Claude Opus 4.5 and Gemini 3 had dug OpenAI's grave. Well, they were completely and utterly wrong. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, not everyone said that, but you get my point. Anyway, today, December 11th, 2025, coincidentally, the anniversary of OpenAI, the 10-year anniversary of OpenAI, Chatgpt 5.2 was released, and oh my goodness, it is a damn godsend. Maybe, just maybe, we should force Sammy into more code reds. Now let's take a look at the benchmarks. First, GDP-Val. For anyone who has not heard of this benchmark, it essentially tests a model's ability to do real economically valuable work, like account spreadsheets, financial diagrams, stuff of that nature. The benchmark is measured in the percentage of human professionals the AI model beats or ties with when performing the tasks I just talked about. Now, Chatgpt 5.2 thinking is quite amazing as it beats 70.9% of industry professionals at various tasks. This is absolutely crazy. But no, bro, it gets even crazier. Chatgpt 5.2 does these tasks 11 times faster than a regular professional and at less than 1% of the cost of these professionals. Now, I know this does not sound like good news, so hold your horses, AI doomers. We are not all losing our jobs. Yet. The AI works best with human oversight, so this new model is explained to be a productivity enhancer instead of just a total replacement. Moving on to the good old coding benchmarks, Chatgpt 5.2 thinking hit 80% on software engineering bench verified, which is extremely impressive and pretty much the second best model in the world, only 0.9% behind Claude Opus 4.5. Keep in mind though, the Chatgpt model that was evaluated for software engineering bench verified is not the best GPT model, so it's highly likely that OpenAI's current best Chatgpt model eclipses Opus 4.5 by a significant margin. But look, that's just a theory, a game theory. On to the science knowledge stuff. It's real important for kids trying to cheat on their tests, as that's the most important use of AI, Alright, I'm joking, but ChatGPT's scores on the GPQA Diamond test are no joke at all, bro. The GPQA Diamond test is a highly difficult graduate level science test for anyone that didn't know, and it's pretty much Google proof. Even humans with access to the internet struggle to get a good score. Chatgpt 5.2 thinking got a resounding 92.4 on this test. That makes it the second best model in the world, right behind Gemini 3 Deep Think. Sorry about that, guys. However, just like with Claude Opus 4.5, you know I gotta throw my personal opinion in there. Again, the best possible ChatGPT model was not evaluated in this test for the GPQA Diamond. They only used the thinking model instead of the pro model. So in my opinion, if they redid it with the pro model at extra high thinking and extra high reasoning, I personally believe that it could get a much higher score and definitely beat Gemini. However, an important factor that we do have to acknowledge is that Gemini 3 Deep Think is largely inaccessible to the general public. You have to have a Gemini Ultra subscription, which costs around $250 a month, the last I checked. And even if you have that $250 subscription, you only get 10 prompts with Deep Think a day. And sometimes they won't even let you get a prompt. They'll say it's too busy, it's too used up at the moment. So for ChatGPT to be accessible to the public, I would consider this the best model for general use. Alright guys, enough of me deriding Chatgpt 5.2. Let's move on to the math section. Chatgpt 5.2 thinking scored a 100% on the AIME benchmark. The AIME benchmark is based off the American Invitational Mathematics Examination, a very, very difficult high school math exam. However, this is not your average high school exam. Remember the SAT and the ACT you guys took? I'm actually not sure if you guys all took it, but just act like you did. I'm sure you guys have all heard of it, correct? Well, students who scored a perfect score on either of the tests I just mentioned failed to even get half of the 15 questions right on the AIME test. This test is extremely prestigious for high school age students, and Chatgpt 5.2 gets a 100% consistently on the same test. Now, even crazier than this, GPT 5.2 thinking achieved a 40.3 on the Frontier Math benchmark, which is the best a model has ever received, according to my knowledge. Feel free to correct me in the comments, guys. These questions are so much significantly harder than the AIME benchmark. I mean, it's an entire different level. While the AIME benchmark is meant for high schoolers who are extremely gifted and intelligent, this is a benchmark that includes questions that even graduate researchers struggle to finish. This benchmark has 1, 2, 3, and 4 tiers. Tier 1 is already significantly harder than the AIME test, with it being comparable to the hardest problems in the International Mathematical Olympiad. This is like around an undergraduate level of math, and it's extremely hard. Next is the early graduate level, which takes math experts several hours to complete. Next is Tier 3, which will require a full day for a human expert to solve. Lastly is Tier 4, where even a few weeks with an entire fleet of god-level mathematicians may not be sufficient. Safe to say that you and I probably wouldn't get a single question right on the Frontier Math benchmark. This is why ChatGPT's 5.2 score of 40.3% on Tiers 1 through 3, and 14.6% on Tier 4 are so crazy. If you still don't get it, it is estimated that an expert graduate level mathematicians would only get around 35% on tiers 1 through 3 with limited time that ChatGPT had. And there was no real estimation for tier 4 because it is so broad and so difficult that no human is expected to get a significantly successful score on it. For our last benchmark that we'll be talking about, ChatGPT 5.2 Thinking Pro achieved a 54.2 on ARC-AGI-2, which is far above any current AI and immensely impressive as just a few months ago, ChatGPT 03 had around a score of 4%. For anyone unsure of what ARC-AGI-2 is and why it is so important, it is essentially a test of pattern discovery and generalization, the root of human intelligence itself. Currently, ChatGPT 5.2 Thinking Pro has the highest score of any model, as I said it before, meaning that they are truly winning in almost every category regarding AGI. ChatGPT's rapid progression in something so related to human intelligence is extremely impressive, and I think you know what it implies for the future. Now, remember guys, benchmarks are not everything. While these results are amazing and put ChatGPT 5.2 in the lead globally, remember to test these models on your own, double check the stuff that they say, and make sure you guys are prompting well. Finally, now that we've seen the benchmarks, I sent ChatGPT 5.2 a particularly difficult coding prompt to test how good this model actually is. Let's take a look at how ChatGPT 5.2 Thinking did. I asked it to code a 3D interactive model of a modern American tank, one file and accessible in the browser. I'm going to show you guys, and remember, comment if you guys think it did pretty good. Alright everyone, so this is what ChatGPT outputted. It was around 1,000 lines of code. There's a zoom in, zoom out feature. It was completely coded in HTML, Java, and things of that nature, so it's not the best looking asset wise, but hey, I couldn't do better. It's completely 3D. Let's try out some of the options on the upper left up here. So let's do the turret. I don't know, am I supposed to see something? Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Okay, I'm an idiot, sorry. Alright, so that's how the turret's working. Okay, not bad, not bad. I do see some lagging. See these pieces right here? They're kind of staying there instead of going with the turret, but overall it's not bad. Let me reset it. Now let's check out the gun with the eye. Okay, it moves up well. It does move up well. Moves down. It shouldn't go down through the tank, but hey, nothing you couldn't fix with more prompting. Overall, this is not bad. This is not bad. Let's try the turret track roll. Let me zoom in on the tracks. Okay, I'm gonna press T. I do see movement. I do see movement. Okay, I hope you guys can see it. The track definitely is moving, so that's good. Let's try this. Trying to do the move cut plane. I think I'm pressing the wrong button. Nah, I just don't think it works well. I'm a little bit disappointed, ChatGPT, that function didn't work, but it's all right. Oh, never mind. Okay. So I don't know what the move cut plane was supposed to do. I was intending to do this, so at least it did work. So I can just cut half of it, look inside. Of course, it's just a model, so it's not gonna be that intricate inside. I hope you weren't hoping for a real tank, but it's not entirely terrible on the inside. I'm not super unimpressed. And let's try opening the hatches. Okay, the hatches do seem to work well. So yeah, overall, this is not bad. I think it did really well in my opinion. There's zoom features. I can orbit. I can look at whatever I want, reset it. It's overall completely pretty good. Well, guys, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown of Chatgpt 5.2, and tell me if you think Openai will win the AI race in the end. If you are a fan of AI or you enjoy hearing an anthropomorphic moon ramble about AI, consider subscribing to the channel. In my next video, I'll be training an AI to hunt animals, so don't miss it. Here's a little preview. Well, everyone, until next time.